Good evening, everyone. This is Yogesh Popat, Principal, Delhi Public Elementary School, Samir Road, Indore. Today, I'm in front of you, and I just thought to discuss with you a very trending topic which is going on nowadays. And I think we should think on that topic and we should think on that line to save our environment. I will start with the sharing of the presentation, and I will try to correlate few things which is very much important for all the students, all the parents, and for the entire society. I will just start the screen sharing part and we'll proceed then. Now, if you just see here that we have taken a green initiative, the Delhi Public Elementary School has taken the green initiative, and this is the first session. I will come up with few more sessions on this green initiative. The objective that I thought to discuss with you is the integration of these three portions, like this academic part. As I am a physics teacher, so I will try to relate science and specifically the physics portion. Value based learning is very important because most of the education bodies, CBSE itself, talked about this value based learning many times, but still I feel that there's a scope to do a lot in this section, and I will try to relate both of these key points with nature. Now, if I ask you a question to ponder upon, for how long you can hold your breath? For how long you can hold your breath? The answer may be 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. The world record is of 24 minutes. I will just show you who holds the world record to hold the breath. 24 minutes, 37.36 seconds. Vladimir Sobar from Croatia. And this world record was held on 27th March 2021. Very recent. Now, if I ask you a question that for 5 seconds, if the oxygen disappears from our Mother Earth, so what will happen? The answer is very simple. For 5 seconds, we'll be able to hold our breath. There's nothing much is going to happen if the oxygen disappears just for 5 seconds. But in this presentation, I will tell you what drastic things can take place and what should we do to not to face this question practically anytime. So if I talk about this gaseous distribution, I will not discuss very technically in this presentation. But if we talk about this gaseous distribution of the atmosphere, we know that oxygen contributes 21%. Now let us start with the facts and findings. The first fact, if the oxygen disappears, extreme sunburn will be there. Extreme sunburn will take place. The reason behind the scientific logic is there will be the complete depletion of the ozone layer. Ozone, that is O3 layer, which is made up of three molecules of oxygen. And if there will be no oxygen, so there will be no ozone, and the hot radiations, ultraviolet radiations, and different radiations of different spectrum will directly strike our body, and within a fraction of a second, our body will completely burn. If you see these two, the structure of the earth also in the right hand side where it is showing ozone hole, there is an increased precipitation. In southern hemisphere, there is an increased level of rainfall, which is disturbing the balance of the ecosystem, and it may increase more in coming years, maybe, which is very important to look after. So these topics are there. If any physics teacher is teaching these topics, he or she can relate these topics with the values towards the environment, and with this oxygen topic, you can relate these topics and you can cultivate the values in the students towards the environment. Second, if we talk about the auditory system, will immediately explode within a fraction of a second when the oxygen disappears. This entire this ear system, this auditory system will explode The reason being, if a 21% contribution is of oxygen, the around 20% of atmospheric pressure, the oxygen contributes in the atmospheric pressure also, 20 to 21%. Now, as soon as the oxygen disappears, the air inside our ear will try to come out immediately to balance the pressure at both the sides, inside and outside the ear, due to which our eardrum will get damaged, and our auditory system will completely explode, which is going to be very harmful. That this you cannot imagine. These are the suggestive topics from physics that you can relate with this. Earth crust will get crumble. Why? Because the scientific reason is the earth crust is made up of 45% of oxygen, the outermost layer of the earth. We teach in its social studies and physics. Now, if the oxygen disappears, that means the complete crust will immediately start crumble, and the entire structure, you may say, or the roads or the buildings will immediately collapse. So this is what the crust ranges from 80 to 8 to 40 kilometers, and the crust is made up of 45% of oxygen. These are the suggestive topics that can be related with this. No fire scenario, as this is a very common fact that the oxygen is required for combustion. If there will be no oxygen, there will be no combustion. But for 5 seconds, it doesn't matter if you think. But in this, if you see, within the fraction of second, the aeroplane will come down because there will be no oxygen, so there will be no combustion of fuel also. There is a high chance that the vehicle on the highways, on the roads will suddenly stop and major accidents may take place. So for 5 seconds, there is no fire, there is no issue. But for within fraction of second, within 2 or 3 seconds, this complete scenario will appear. We cannot imagine this scenario anytime. So these are the suggestive topics that can be related to cultivate the values in the students. Sky will completely get dark. Sky will get completely dark. Why? Because if we talk about optics, the major quantity, when it bounces back through our atmosphere, we are able to enjoy the daytime. But when there will be no oxygen, 20% of the entire atmosphere, if you take out, there will be less reflection, less bouncing back of the light towards the sky, towards this atmosphere, and due to which the entire sky will appear dark every time. So these are the certain topics from physics that can be related with this example, and again we can cultivate the values towards the environment, towards the oxygen. Seventh fact, very interesting fact: every structure made up of concrete would crumble. Why? Within 5 seconds, all the structure will get crumble. Yes. Why? Because to bind the particles with each other, oxygen is required. If there will be no oxygen for few seconds also, there will be no binding of the particles. The particles will loosen itself and the entire structure will come down. So these are the topics that can be related with this example to orient the values of the students towards the environment. Now, why I'm talking about this topic, we all are aware that due to the deficiency of oxygen, due to the lack of oxygen, how the COVID patients are dying. It is everywhere in the newspaper, in the digital media, on the news channels, all the news channels. Yes, it is there. So it is the collective responsibility of everyone, the entire society, parents, students, everyone who is living on this planet, to take care of the environment. And at least on this Environment Day, 5th June 2021, at least plant one sapling. Motivate others to plant sapling. And we, the Delhi Public Elementary School, has taken this initiative that in our student category, whomsoever will plant a sapling and will take care of it for at least 1 year, and maybe for lifetime, we'll train our students to take care of it for lifetime. In their final progress report, special mention will be there, the green ambassador of the school. So we have taken this initiative on this Environment Day, and we will definitely do it. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.